Good afternoon. My name is Nikki, Director of Admissions for Texas Women's University. Welcome to our online Pioneer Preview with the Dean for the College of Business. Before we get started, I kindly ask that you keep your microphones muted and your cameras turned off. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask them in the chat feature located in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our Dean for the College of Business, Dr. James Lumpkin.
Thank you, Nikki. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's a little unusual situation, as you all know. We much prefer to have our interactions face-to-face, but our environment dictates otherwise. But we thank you for coming today through this medium. And we want to present a little bit of information about the College of Business and allow you to ask questions. Before we get started, I think it's useful sometimes for you to understand a little bit about me, my background, and so we just get to know each other a little bit. I know sometimes the students feel that the Dean is a mythical, godlike creature that you only see when you are in trouble. That's not exactly true. You can actually see me when you're not in trouble. But I want to give you a little bit of my background. I've been in TWU, College of Business, now for 2 years. And I'm what they call the founding dean because we became a college about 3 years ago. And we were a school of management prior to that. I'll talk a little bit about what that means in just a moment. I'd like to give you a little personal background so that you kind of understand where I come from and make a little human connection to the dean. I've been a dean now for 20 years at various universities. So I certainly was pleased to be able to come here at TWU because of the direction that we were going, the quality of the faculty and the programs. So I'm very pleased to be here and what we're doing. From my personal background, I have a little bit of a different direction in getting to where I am. As I've been around for quite a while, been a dean for quite a while, but I grew up in Arkansas, but mostly from Texas and East Texas. I have a degree in chemistry from Stephen F. Austin University, an MBA in production operations management, industrial quality control, also from Stephen F., and a doctorate in marketing from University of Arkansas. Now, I'm going to come back to that in just a few minutes to say why that is important for me to tell you that. But I'd also like to just tell you a little bit of background on myself. As I said, I grew up in Arkansas and East Texas. I've lived all over this part of the world, as well as outside a little bit in Oklahoma and Mississippi and Louisiana. I did make a mistake one time and moved up to Illinois for a few years and almost froze to death, but I got out just before I did. So I'm pleased to be back here in this part of the country. I am a Vietnam War veteran, air veteran, have a few interests outside of education, which I'll tell you about. I think the main two that are kind of interesting, most people would not have associated that with me, but I am a certified scuba diver. I like to do that when I can. But I'm also what a lot of people call a gearhead. I've got an NHRA drag racing competition license. I've been doing that for about 25 years. That's all kind of shut down now, but I like to get out and play with cars when I can, when I'm not doing the dean thing. But so I told you what my academic background is, and I'll tell you why that's important in just a few minutes. But I'd certainly like to, glad I have the opportunity to put a face with a name so that when we have a chance to interact personally down the road, you'll know a little bit about me. As I said, I'm the founding dean. The college has been a college instead of a school of management now for 3 years. And we are about 2,000 students, roughly, about half and half undergraduate and graduate. And we are the fastest growing college at TWU. We're growing at about 20% a year. Now, some of you may be here to hear about the graduate programs. This presentation today is going to focus on our undergraduate programs. For those interested in our MBA or our Master's Healthcare Administration, please go to our website and we'll have presentations there that will tell you about those programs. So we'll focus a little bit on the academic undergraduate programs. One of the things that's unique about the college, or not unique, but it's important about the college, is our accreditations. We have ACB-SP accreditation. That is a specific accreditation for colleges of business. We've had that for quite a number of years. And we are in the process of earning the AACSB accreditation. It's a fairly lengthy process. It's about a 5-year process, and we're right in the middle of that. And that's important because that is a very difficult accreditation to get. It's a measure of quality of the program, and only about 5% of the colleges of business in the world have AACSB accreditation. And so we're well along the way of obtaining that. In fact, before you graduate, we will have achieved AACSB accreditation. So that is really a mark of excellence for your degree and for the college. And so we do this because one of our goals as administrators of the College of Business and faculty is to always enhance your degree, the worth of your degree, the value of your degree. So as we become AACSB accredited, it will be associated with TW and your degree forever. So that is very important. We spend a lot of time working on that aspect of it. So we're real pleased. Let's talk a little bit about the programs that we have. And you're going to hear from the people who are really working on those programs. That's our advisors who you need to get to know quite well. But we have the normal degrees that are available to you: accounting, finance, economics, human resource management, marketing, and some new programs that are relatively new in the marketplace that we're really excited about. They're really up and coming degrees, and that is in data analytics. Very good jobs available in that area if that interests you. And we're also moving into healthcare administration at the undergraduate level. We've been there at the graduate level, but we're now moving at the undergraduate level. That's one of the hottest degrees you can get now. And as you know from listening to the news every day, healthcare has become and is becoming more and more important. Yes, we need those the clinical professionals, nurses, and doctors, but at the same time, we also need people to manage the business side of the healthcare industry, and that's what our program trains you to do. So we have those programs available to you. Now, a lot of students, if we were doing this in person, I would be asking you, do you know what you want to do? Now, many of you, or all of you, would say, I know what my major is going to be. I know I'm going to major in management or finance or accounting, the various degrees that we have, because you have to choose that. But the unique thing about our program, or any business program, but ours especially, is that it's divided into two parts. One is the core business, and the other is the major. And when you get a degree in business, you get a BBA in business, Bachelor of Business Administration. You get very strong fundamental background of all the discipline areas. That is, in the core, you're going to take courses in accounting, finance, and management, and marketing, and so forth. So you have a broad understanding of how business works, and that will put you in good stead, because many students think they might want to do one particular thing, and as you get into your program, you find out that, no, I took a course in marketing. I use that because that's my area, and I really fell in love with it. And so instead of being a finance major, I think I want to be a marketing major, or vice versa. And our program allows you to do that. You can really make that decision very late in your in your career because you have to take the undergraduate general education courses, but then you take the core business, then you take your major. So you can, in fact, change that very late in your program and not be penalized if you're following our program. So that is very, very important because you make change. And it's also important to have a degree in business because it does prepare you for a lot of different things. That major that you have to pick will set you up for your first job or maybe your second job. But you'll change. Many students, I mean, many workers will change their area of focus, their jobs several times over their careers. And the degree will set you up to be able to do that. As I mentioned, so I was going to come back to it. Even though I have a degree in chemistry and worked as a chemist, I took an MBA because I wanted to work on the business side of that. And my first thought was I was going to work in industry and production management, specifically industrial quality control, and had an opportunity to go to work for Phillips Petroleum Company. And I was doing marketing research and economic forecasting. Now, that's not what my concentration was, but because I had an MBA, and we're talking about the same thing with a BBA, because I had that broad field degree, I could switch over into that. And things kind of take a different turn as you go through your life. And so I ended up doing a lot of marketing research, and a lot of economic research and forecasting. So when I went to get my doctorate, I actually got it in marketing. And that's what my field has been in higher education. I've taught for about 20 years and been a dean for about 20 years. So don't be afraid. In fact, embrace the fact that you're going to get a broad degree training, and don't worry so much that you may or may not have picked the one thing that you know you're going to do for the rest of your life. Our job is to get you the training necessary to be able to function in a lot of different areas, because some of the areas that you will be working in over your career haven't even been invented yet. So we don't know exactly what that's going to be, but we're going to train you so that you will be able to move into those new and emerging fields. So embrace that. The best friends that you will have is our advising team. We've got a great advising team. You're going to meet them in just a moment. They'll give you a lot of information, Chris Cooper and Molly Kohner. So you need to talk with them and take every opportunity that you're afforded to visit with them about your program, visit with them about alternatives. They will guide you. And so I hope that you will embrace those advising team, as well as our faculty. They'll actually guide you in where some of the fields are that they see, and so you talk to them as well. If you find one that you take a class and you really get to know and like that faculty member, please ask for their advice. Don't be afraid to do that. It's very, very important that you engage the faculty and staff so that we can guide you. And that's important so that you can graduate. Our job is to make sure you stay here and graduate on time. We talk a lot about that. We have our program structured so that if you follow the program, you're going to graduate on time. And we're making changes all the time to our schedule that will allow this to be true. We've got it set up so that if you follow that, you're going to be able to graduate in 4 years. Now, if you can take that many courses, it's certainly possible to graduate in 4 years. We understand some students do not because they need to work, but that we've got a setup where you can do that as well. So we've got a great program. It's getting better. We're working on different accreditations that's going to make your degree worth more. And we've got an outstanding set of faculty to guide you through your academic programs here. Now, I want to be able to give enough time to one of our advisors, that's Molly Kohner. She has specifics about the program and what you need to do. And so I see her, Molly's there. I'm going to turn that over to her, The interesting thing about a dean is we don't necessarily know anything, but we know people who do. So that's why I like to have people like Molly and Chris working with us. And I think she's going to give you some great information. Thank you for letting me visit with you a little bit this morning.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lumpkin. Okay, let me pull up my PowerPoint here that I have. Okay, so as Dr. Lumpkin said, my name is Molly Kerner. I am the undergraduate advisor in the College of Business. I advise students with the last name L through Z, and Chris Cooper, our assistant director for academic support. He advises students A through K, and he's available, I believe, on the chat if you'll have any questions as I'm going along. He can help you answer those questions. So let's get started. Like I said, I am Molly Kerner. A little bit about me. I graduated from TWU in 2009 with my BBA in management, and then I stayed at TWU to get my MBA, Master of Business Administration, and then also the MHS and the Masters of Health Systems Management. And Chris also is an alum, TWU alum. He got his MBA here at TWU. So we're both alums. We both know the degree plans, the instructors. So why is that important to you? We have that information. We know the degree plans, as I said, the instructors. So if you have any questions about that, we're very happy to answer those questions. And a little bit about advising. So what I'm going to do today is go about a little bit about advising, a little bit about admissions, getting your transcripts in, and I'll talk about our degree, our majors, and then what else the College of Business has to offer. So about advising, Chris and I work with all undergraduate business students from when you start to as a freshman to when you graduate as a senior. That's approximately 1,300 for both of us. What we do in advising is we go over your degree plan, which I'll be explaining the degree plan in a little bit, what it is, what courses are required. We ask you how many hours you want to register for. Do you want to be full-time? Most of the time you want to be full-time for financial aid. If you want to do more than full-time, like 15 hours. So we go through that. And then how many years you want to finish. If you want to do 4 years, this is what you need to do. So we go through that as well. We also communicate university and department policies and procedures. If you have major specific questions about a specific course or about a career for your major, we will refer you to like a faculty advisor or a career consultant. So if you haven't already applied, please apply through and submit your fee. Apply through applytexas.org. If you're if you're in high school and you're doing dual credit, or you're a transfer student and you're doing classes at another institution, make sure you order and submit those official transcripts so we can get those classes transferred over. If you have questions about your application process, the status, you always need to contact the Office of Admissions Processing, and their number is there. Okay, so the degree plan that we offer is a Bachelor of Business Administration, a BBA degree. A little bit about the degree plan. We do require a minimum of 120 credit hours. Out of those 120, 42 of those hours are general education mandated by the state of Texas, your core classes like English, history, science, government, things like that. If you're transferring or you have dual credit, like in English and history, most of those will transfer over here at TWU. You just need to get those transcripts submitted. 3 of those hours are global perspective. Most of the time, your international business or international marketing will satisfy that. At least 30 hours. You do have to earn 30 hours here at TWU to get a degree. And then half of those major requirements must be completed as a TW student. So you have to do half of those major requirements. And then you do have to earn at least 36 of the advanced upper level, so the 3,000 and 4,000 level courses. Okay, so our majors that we offer accounting, business administration, the general, business administration, entrepreneurship emphasis, finance, and then the new one that Dr. Lumpkin was referring to, and I'll highlight that a little bit, the healthcare administration. HR management, and marketing. Okay, so a little bit of healthcare administration. It is new, beginning in 20 fall. I have been told that it is available on Apply Texas to apply for. We are still getting our degree plan kind of ready. So if it takes us a little bit to get your degree, I mean, we are offering healthcare administration classes starting in the fall. We just are still getting kind of our degree plan going. So it may take a little bit, but we will get that information out there. And it is a hot major, as Dr. Lumpkin said, it is going to be probably very popular. Okay, so more on to the degree plan. So you have the core classes. Now we're on to our program requirements, which are 15 hours of the prerequisite or pre-business classes. We have a personal finance class that you have to do, micro and macroeconomics, statistics, and business algebra, which is they call business analysis. Some of those program requirements can satisfy your state core requirements, like statistics can satisfy the mathematics core requirement, your economics can satisfy your social behavioral sciences, so they can double dip there. And then also your business core, those are the 33 hours of your fundamentals and principles classes. So you'll have fundamentals of accounting, principles of management, principles of marketing, and we call those the backbone of the BBA degree. And then lastly, your 30 hours of your major courses. We do, like I said, with the global perspectives, require international component, which that'll be international business or international marketing for the marketing majors. And then we have 27 hours of specific related courses to your major. And then we do have an option for you to do an internship class. It's not required except for the healthcare administration, which we can talk about that later, but most of them don't require an internship, but we do certainly suggest it. It's a really great opportunity. It can lead to careers, employment opportunities. So if you do decide to do that, we have a faculty member that you would work with, as well as somebody in the Pioneer Center, and you can just ask us and we can refer you. Or you can go on the Pioneer Center's website and they have internship page that they post, and that gives you a lot of good information required about internships. A little bit more about the College of Business. We do have an accounting and finance lab. So if you're ever in accounting or a finance class, we have tutors that can help with those related courses. We do have scholarships in the College of Business, so they cover the academic school year starting with fall. And that application is in early spring. And then we do have organizations. I don't have the list with me, but if you want me to post the list, or Chris, he can post the list. I will email you the organization list. But some examples are NACDAS, NABA, which is the National Association of Black Accountants, or SHRM, which is the Human Resource Management organization. And Chris and I really, we want you to join an organization. Of course, it's not required, but it allows for networking, personal development, leadership opportunities. Looks good on your resume, employment opportunities. So we really want you to join those. It'll be a really good opportunity. And then there's Chris and I's lovely face, and our contact information. So if you ever want to email us, we would be happy to assist, to answer any questions you may And then I see Chris is answering some in the chat box, but I can answer as well. But thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and we hope that you join the College of Business. It's a really great program. And again, we're here for any questions or concerns. Thank you.